Chad is saying you're looking cozy. I agree. You're looking quite cozy, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty cozy. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty stressed, not gonna lie. We had a lot of last minute plans with the DPC flights and everything, and then
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say unreasonable, but like the rules to get in. So, you obviously last time I got turned around
Yeah.
at in Europe. So for people who don't know, I flew all the way to Europe and then they said no and then flew me all the way back. So I got to do a full
Woo!
lap in like a day.
At least you did it with fogged.
Yeah, I did do it with fog, so we got a little, bonding time. But so they require you to give a negative COVID test that every country is different, by the way. Every country you're flying into is different. But most of them, it's either 2 hours, or sorry, 2 days, 48 hours that you took the test, or 48 hours that you got the results between the time that you land and when you took it.
Oh,
So
really?
so you have to get the test like really close, and then a lot of places aren't super reliable to get the test back in a day. So like if you take it too early, they won't take the test. If you take it too late, you don't get the test. So
Yeah.
I took the test this morning so I could like try to be right in the middle because my flight's tomorrow. And the last time I took the test, they gave me my results the day of, and as far as I know, I don't have my results. So it's just a disaster, monkeys. But it's just, I mean, ESL's been like, it's just kind of a shit show we're in. So it's just stressful. Pretty much every caster is like in some similar boat of their own. But yeah, that's
imagine.
it's just like this time tomorrow, I'll either be, figured things out or, still in some limbo, but hopefully things sort themselves out. Just got a lot of stuff to do before we leave, all that kind of stuff.
It'll work out, BSJ. Just
Thanks,
gotta
monkeys.
believe.
Thanks, buddy.
Just think about the patch, get hyped about that. Relieve some stress by theory crafting what the new hero will be, and
I just gotta tell you right now, monkeys, you're really stealing my thunder. I'm the host here. Supposedly, I'm supposed to be the guy.
I have to inch my way into getting slightly better at it.
I'm
right?
supposed to be the guy that transitions us into the podcast. So, thank you, monkeys, for doing my job. Okay, so we got our core subject of today's podcast, guys. Huge patch tomorrow, or at least some patch tomorrow. We got supposedly a new hero, and we have what they said is balance changes. So first and foremost, monkeys, do you believe they will change the map?
No, I do not think this will be a map. No, I do not think.
How do you feel about that, monkeys?
Makes me a bit sad, but I feel like it would lead up to a map change before TI. At least I would hope. Maybe.
Okay. So are you in the same boat as me, where like I am begging for a map change?
Yes, I would like it.
Okay.
Quite a lot.
So for the people at home, I'll give my explanation. I'm sure yours is probably pretty similar, but it's like right now there's just a clear way to play the map, and there's a clear like way to win the game. So even if they change the heroes, all it means is you have to find a different way to do the same thing. So if they change the map, it kind of like changes up the win conditions and changes up like the timings of the game, and then you have to like not only learn the new heroes balance and stuff, but you also have to learn like what heroes fit like the new way of winning. So for me, that's how it is. Is that about how it is for you?
Yeah, it's just basically like, as you said, Dota's kind of figured out right now, and whenever Dota gets figured out, usually that's when we hit like a huge map change. Whether it's bounty runes giving XP to not giving XP, that entirely changed how the game was played, or going from no shrines to shrines or shrines to outposts. All of it just changed how the entire state of the game was played, and like the speed of the game, right? So
Yeah.
it's just basically like, yeah, we need new objectives, or we need new something.
It's like I know I'm supposed to check the rune at 4 minutes. I know I'm supposed to get bounties at 5. I know I'm supposed to try to take the outpost before 20. I know I'm supposed to get that tier 2 to take that outpost. I'm supposed to, it's like you know what you're supposed to do. And it's like the funny thing is that when you said that, it just changed the whole pace. Like when they added shrines, for instance, the type of hero that was good, you end up realizing are the heroes that benefit from the shrines, and then you realize like what kind of heroes do that, how can they abuse it.
Yeah.
there's all types of implications and possibilities. So
And I mean, we've been playing this meta for like what? I feel like it's been a little over a year now or so, right? Like,
yeah,
like I don't know, man. It's getting stale,
it is.
especially because like I played the majority of last year as well competitively, and like I don't know, man. It's just kind of boring. Like,
Yeah, it is.
just give us something new.
It is. I know. I know. So we are getting a new hero. So like we're both under the same assumption that we're probably not getting a map change. I really hope we do, but it doesn't sound like we. At least when they say balance changes.
I would assume not, but I mean, you never know. Like, what what good communication does Valve usually do, right? Like, they're usually just like, here's what we got for you.
Yeah.
Hope you like it.
Enjoy it. Here's your fancy meal that you
Yeah,
have no idea what you're about to eat.
here's your anime that you ordered, right, guys?
Did you order an anime with a side of new player experience? Sorry, no, I'm kidding. So, okay, so, we're getting a new hero. Let's do the theory crafting fun part of this. So first, we'll hit the highlight of the new hero. What are your hopes and what are your predictions about
I
what it is
mean,
going to be?
my hopes are the same as last time, BSJ. Just a simple carry hero, you know. Say literally same thing that we talked about before for
Preach it,
this.
brother. Amen. Amen.
I,
Preach it.
I, I feel like we're still getting like these creative new ways to be mobile, basically. Like Hoodwink just runs through trees because why not? Let's make another confusing aspect of the game. Uh, but yeah, it's just like I mean I know Tree and Protector already like kind of has that, but it's all a little unique in its own way. But yeah, I just feel like carry players haven't really gotten much love lately, and I'm hoping for just a solid carry hero.
Dude,
Like
how hard is I just want to freaking right click somebody with like a some different ability, man. I
yeah.
just like some unique way of farming. How crazy is that? We don't need a hero with more nukes that clear waves and more stuns. We don't or like some way, like you said, to be mobile. I don't think we need that again. I think we're probably gonna get that again though. That's
Yeah.
like my prediction. I think we're gonna get some fancy vector targeting, weird spell we've never seen before.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely going to be a little over the top, but what I hope and what I expect are two different things.
Yeah, that's why I said a hope and a prediction. So it sounds like we're on this obviously pretty much the same page when it comes to the general hopes and also the general predictions. So
hmm
with me, my overall prediction is that it'll be a hero that will be mid. I think it'll be like the last two have been predominantly support, and I think it's going to be more of a mid laner that does that. So
Wait,
that's
what was before Hoodwink?
was it not the Oh, I guess it was Void Spirit actually. It was
Yeah,
no, it
yeah, it
was
was Void Spirit, right?
was it
Or
was it
am I
Grimstroke?
wrong?
No.
I I don't remember what was the order of the heroes.
Oh, it is Void Spirit. Never mind.
I was
It's
gonna
Void
say
Spirit and Snapfire. No, I was thinking it was a support. It was Snapfire.
snap, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about Snap.
hmm
Yeah, so I'll think it'll be more of a mid laner.
but we did get Void Spirit though. Like
Yeah.
one out of the last three heroes was a mid
That's
slash kind of off laner slash any
I mean,
role
Void
that
Spirit's
fits for
literally
okay.
everything. He can just be 5. Just throw him at the 5. Okay, so do you have any final comments? Because it sounds like we're kind of on the same page about
No,
the
no.
new hero.
I mean, as far as here, like again, I feel like they're gonna make it a bit over the top to, especially with like the anime, like right, they're gonna want to attract new players and stuff with some fancy idea or whatever. I would imagine at least like knowing Valve, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we'll see.
So here's the fun part. Might even put this up on YouTube if you're interesting enough, monkeys, because this is the part I know everyone wants to hear. So you have 5 heroes that have to get nerfed, and how, at least like in general, how, and you have 5 heroes that have to get buffed, and how you want to see them get buffed. What are they? Let's start with the nerfs.
Hold on. Let me pull up a hero list just so I'm
Yep,
not
yep, yep.
forgetting anything. Well, I mean, first hero that comes to mind would definitely be Alk.
Okay.
Um,
What
uh,
about him bothers you the most?
uh, the fact that he forces such a quick and specific pace of the game, like you have to react to Alk in a very, very, very specific manner to be able to, control the map and shut him down the way you would a normal carry hero. And he just acquires gold too fast. That really, it's just that simple. He makes the game pace too quick for a lot of heroes, honestly. And it just when it's good, it's just way too good,
Well, I
and
want
it's
to
like
make the
insufferable to
assertion
play
that
against.
Alk kind of became broken because they nerfed neutrals. Remember how neutrals used
Yeah,
to like scale in gold and experience? Because they
yeah,
just don't scale anymore. He's the only hero that like still gets
that
a shit ton of gold
that's
from the
true.
map. I
That's a good
actually
point.
think that might have been the like breaking point for Alk. I was just
Yeah, but
saying,
but but I mean that's kind of my point of like when it's good, it's just always too good, right?
yeah,
Like and when it's bad, it's just absolutely god awful. Like you can't even think about picking it because it's just too slow. But
yeah.
when it actually accelerates you that much quicker than the rest of every hero in the game, then it's just like how can you pass it up, right?
You know a hero is like a broken carrot, just like Void Spirit's a broken mid when you just plug him in other positions randomly. You just put him as a 3. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, apparently he's also a pretty decent laner. It's like, okay. Not the best success as a 3, but people were picking it even at the major. So unless we disagree, we can kind of just alternate here. So you said
Sure.
Alk. I'm gonna go with Io. I
All
don't
right.
see it
Yeah.
too much in my pubs. But I have played against it
Yet.
a few times. I've played against it a few times now,
Uh,
and it's actually been the same experience every single game. We lose one fight and we lose the game. Well, no matter
yeah.
how far ahead we are, no matter how close the game is, doesn't matter. If we're up by 8K and we lose one fight at 20 minutes in the game, we actually just lose. And I haven't had
Mhm.
any exceptions to this.
Yeah.
The thing about Core IO is that it's just so unforgiving, and there's no like specific way to deal with it because
Mhm.
all the heroes that used to counter Io are ones that like counter like a tether, they like the Grimstrokes and the Disruptors and all these like AoE things. But the new IO is just a core that's tethered to a creep. So it's like, yeah, sometimes it'll tether to its own hero to save him, but with like the powerfulness of Sange this patch, a lot of people are buying Sange, and overall like how much IO can do with one or two small items, it's just too much. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
IO it's just too unforgiving. Kind of like you said with Alk. It's not in the way of like acquiring too much gold. It acquires too much map control way too easily. Like
Mhm.
you can just be anywhere and it's a core. It's like a Spectre that wins its lane. Like that's with the like
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculously powerful spike
And
at the Acceptor. I don't know.
and just provides, so much magical damage constantly, right? Like you actually just can't negate the amount of
I
damage
usually
that comes
like
out of
taking
IO.
balls to the face, monkeys, but it's getting a little old.
I can imagine, BSJ. I can
Thank you,
imagine.
thank
Why
you.
do you think I took a break from pubs? Like
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what's
also
your
you
go ahead?
like minimize Discord or something, so I don't see your screen share anymore or something.
Oh, what?
Now I can see you.
No, I minimized my OBS so I could see my hero list,
Oh, I
but I
see.
didn't think that stopped you from seeing anything. I'll just lower it a bit. Can you still see it now?
Yeah, I can still see it.
Okay, cool. Okay, what's your next one, monkeys?
Sorry, I was super distracted by the whole camera thing, so give me a moment. I will say, all right. I have two that I would want to say. I guess the first one I'll say is Death Prophet. I think that hero is just her base stats are just way too good. Her laning's too strong. She can play like any role. She just way too versatile of a hero. She accomplishes being like a frontliner and a tower pusher and a team fighter, like
And a
way
silence.
and a silence. Like she accomplishes it all. She's honestly just like the dream prophet. I'm sorry, Furion, but Death Prophet,
Rip.
she's got it all. And yeah, I think that hero needs to die a bit. I'm tired of seeing it first ban, first phase picked like every single game.
Nothing makes me feel better than playing carry, seeing the off lane, like I already see it, and I don't have anything I can pick that wins the lane.
Yeah.
Like anything that fundamentally just never loses the lane. It's just like what? Like why?
Yeah.
That whole
literally Death Prophet right now is what OD was pre-nerfs, right? Like OD
you just lose the lane to it.
You literally, no matter what you're against, you're going to just bully them out because you had like 7 armor.
It turns out that 5 armor, 335 base move speed, and like 60 base damage is just pretty good. And a nuke, it's just pretty freaking good. I mean, it's just stupid. So, and you're a ranged hero. Let's just let's ignore everything else. You're also a ranged hero. Okay, so yeah, I agree with you on that one. My next one would be Puck. So Puck's like kind of a hit or miss in terms of like she's on the fence, or it is on the fence. It's like 5th or 6th for me. It's because they have nerfed Puck a lot already, but we still saw it like pretty much first picked at the major almost every single game. And the coil is just too unplayable against. It's like you're actually getting doomed, man. Like you're a doom that can still cast your spells without moving. You know, like you can still cast your spells, but that's it. You're basically doomed to stand still for 7 or 8 seconds. And then eventually
unless they buy Wind Wakers.
Unless you buy a Wind Waker.
Now we're thinking out of the box, BSJ.
Absolutely true, unless you buy a Wind Waker. And then, so it's a hero that feels really hard to play against in terms of like what the hero threatens you with. It has too many builds, like Boots of Travel builds where you split push the map, the Blink Veils, the Witch Blades, the Deso right-click build. There's just too much it can do, so it has too many options. And then it also requires specific heroes to kill it. So there's just too much. You know, like it's kind of like with Death Prophet. It just does too much. So I honestly wouldn't mind if they gave her like kind of the Batrider treatment where you significantly nerf the cooldown of her ult and maybe buff something else. Like make it so they like the hero does one thing well and maybe something else mediocrely rather than just everything
and then
pretty fucking good. You know?
And then revert all of the buffs because Puck's still broken.
And then revert all of the buffs and then dumpster her over the course of a C patch. The Batrider life. Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted some
I like
recognition
that.
for my hero. Literally,
sad. He got picked a few times and it won a few games. You were right. If it's a perfect Batrider game,
it is still like in a really good situation. It is still filthy, but like. I don't know. I already had Broodmother, man. I didn't want another Broodmother, but now I have another Broodmother. It's just like, it's that niche pick that, like, that 18 slot, you could get that juicy bat game, but...
Hey, man, it's important to be able to play that shit. It's important to look at the enemy draft and say, hey, I just won, because I just picked and I'm able to play that hero to the potential that it needs to be picked. So, we got one left. You said you had 2 before, and you named one of them. What's the other one?
Well, okay, so the other I was thinking was Timber, but as I'm looking at the list, I would probably actually put Mars over Timber.
Maybe. Really? Mars is actually in your top 5?
Maybe. It's like...
over Void Spirit.
Wait.
We haven't named Void Spirit yet.
Oh, did we not name Void?
No, it's been Alk, Death Prophet, Io, and Puck.
Oh, I thought I remembered you mentioning Void.
We had talked about Void Spirit being like broken, but we actually hadn't mentioned him in this list.
Okay, then I'd put Void Spirit up there because having a mid hero that can, or honestly a hero that can play like 4 different roles, be first picked every single game without ever, if the team so desired, they could do that, is just ridiculous and too much damage.
It's just too much damage.
Too agile of a hero, too much damage.
I just look at the carry heroes I want to play. I can never solo kill that guy, and he can solo kill me at like any point in the game with like one item. Whether it's like a Yules, an Orchid, an Ags, like he can just kill me. And he has something for everybody. Like he has a way to itemize against everybody. He has too many options for item builds. I think that's really like the common theme for these OP heroes usually is that. That are played in any role. It's not like the Alks. Like Alk and Io kind of specifically do one thing and it's just too good. But with these heroes, like the Death Prophets and the Void Spirits, they just kind of do everything.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, what do they
Well,
not do? You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's because like you look at Void Spirit and it's literally you hit level 6, no matter what roll you're on, you're gonna just you know shit out 800 damage in AOE. No matter like literally no matter what roll you're on, that's what you're
Yeah.
gonna do. And it's like, wow, cool here. Like the fact that you get 2 charges of alt at level 6 is just so absurd. I don't think that can stay unnerved. I think it has to be like one alt charge with a 15-second cooldown or something like that, or something like that, right? Because like two alt charges is just like you're in, you do 300 damage, you're out, and then you have the lingering damage of another 300 damage. Like I don't know, man. It's so much.
And you like playing Void Spirit too, so it's kind of like if I was willingly saying Slark needs to get nerfed, you know it means something if the guy that likes to play it. So
Yeah,
before we move on, just give your 2 or 3 honorable mentions. We're not going to go into depth about them, but you mentioned Mars.
yeah.
Um,
Mars are I like again. I don't. See, I don't even like Mars. I don't even necessarily think it's the greatest. But I see a lot of it, right? So,
you just think
like,
it
I
needs a
see,
nerf because you've seen it
yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah. I see a lot of like Mars Phoenix, and like that combo is annoying. I see a lot of Mars Dark Willow. That combo is super annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There is definitely like an aspect of Mars that does make it annoying as hell. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just I personally don't enjoy playing it that much. So.
My honorable mentions are Beastmaster. Like, I think it's just so annoying
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
get
yeah.
it out of here.
As a Beast player, I fully understand the nomination.
And then as a carry player who will now admit to his own heroes, I want Troll and Jug to get nerfed. Those are the 2
Alright.
carries that I really want to get out of here. I think there's other carries that saw a lot of play and were pretty OP. But those are the carries I would like to see nerfed. And then my last 2 honorable mentions, because I claimed them going into the tournament and they ended up getting picked every fucking game, is Tusk and Pango. Dude, these heroes are
That's
stupid,
true.
man.
That's true.
Tusk
Yeah,
tag
I
team
get
needs to
that.
get nerfed, and Pango just does too much. Like they need to either remove his shard or like change something about his ultimate so he's countered somehow. I feel like the hero, if he gets off to like not a terrible start, just ruins the game for whatever carry or whatever's trying to win the
If it
game because they just
if
get
it's
stunned
not
for 10
playing against
seconds.
Bloodseeker, then it just does whatever it
Yeah,
wants, basically.
exactly.
That's
Any
I see
last
the
honorable mentions for nerfs?
Join Ignition Casino, your go-to destination for the best online poker, table games, progressive slots, and much more. Sign up with the promo code Ignition777 and deposit using Bitcoin to get 25 free spins on 777 Deluxe.
For you.
I mean, again, I would probably say Timber.
Okay.
I think Timber is just in too unkillable of a state right now. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. He is like you can beat him if you're prepared for it, but I do think
He just
two.
secures like the first 15 minutes usually.
Yeah.
Which is
Just you have to put way too much into dealing with this one hero right now, I think,
oh,
and
he's good
I
enough.
think
He's been good for like 3 patches, man. Just
yeah.
get him out of here. Okay. So now the fun part. We haven't seen these heroes in a while, or expected to be, based on the fact that we're asking for them to be buffed. What are our primary 5
Oh
buffers,
God.
man?
Oh God. Okay. My first one. I kind of feel bad saying it, but I'm gonna say it. Huskar. I feel like
Ugh.
Huskar has been dead for a long, long time. I remember that used to be a BSJ signature back on Summer's Rift in like 2017, I want to
Dude, that
say,
was
or
like
something.
2014, dude.
Was it really? Was it really that long
It was
ago?
probably 20. I think it was early 2016. I think I don't.
Well,
It
yeah.
was a
I mean,
long time ago.
way back when, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like Huskar has actually been in the dumpster for so long, and it's time he sees some love again. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate Huskar. I hate playing against the hero. I'm like kind of chill with having it on my team, especially when Abba and Omni are good. But I playing against Huskar is miserable. But gotta give every hero its spotlight, right?
Yeah, I think we need to try to be objective here, like doesn't we're trying not to necessarily name the heroes that we like the most, but the heroes that we really think need a buff the most. So
Yeah.
I think my answer, I was like looking at a bunch of these and I kind of agree now that you've mentioned it, purely going off of a hero we haven't seen in a long time, it'd be Necrophos. This
Dude,
hero,
that was my number 2.
dude, Necro is freaking garbage. Like, that
Mhm.
hero is atrociously terrible. They have
Yeah.
added so many heal reductions. They have added so many ways to counter this hero. I believe him and Huskar are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, because of Scotty, Shiva's, Spirit Vessel, these heroes, their entire function was based off of healing. Like, yeah, Alk was kind of similar, but he's not like all in on that concept. Those two
Yeah.
heroes are all in on their sustain and tankiness being enough to keep them alive. And they're
Mhm.
just their concept as heroes is completely outdated and dead. So
Yeah.
I think Necrophos needs like a rework of some sort. Otherwise, he's just trash. So and we haven't seen him in like 3 or 4 patches. And I will say, as a carry player, usually Necrophos is one of the most miserable offlaners to be in the meta, but I still think he needs a buff. So
Yeah.
what's next for you, monkeys?
So I think we actually saw this hero once at the major, and it did win, but like, I don't think the hero is in a very good spot right now, so I'm gonna name it. I think Centaur needs a buff. I don't think we've seen Centaur for a while. I think that
Ever
hero could
since they
definitely.
reworked Retaliate, right?
Yeah. I think he could definitely use some love, and I mean, I don't know, man. I miss blink stunners. I just want like the low cooldown, just like get in their face, be a tanky annoying asshole, and just I want the Slardar, the Centaur, the Sand King. I want the fast paced offlaners to be back.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree. I I think that Centaur is an enjoyable hero to have in the meta most of the time.
yeah.
So sometimes he can be kind of annoying, but most of the time I think he's usually good for the game. Um so my hero would be a hero I think is super fun actually, that has virtually seen no play in the last like 4 or 5 patches, other than like one stint of a lot, and that'd be Dazzle. I think this hero is capable of having like such a fun kit, and they've been like trying to make him viable, but he's kind of like a jack of all trades, doesn't really do anything. And I just want some small rework that lowers his all around play, but makes him better at like being a support or a core. Make him more of a support or more of a core rather than.
BSJ, I'm like 5-0 with Offlane Dazzle in the last like month or something. I'm just saying.
What I'm saying,
Maybe I'm just too skilled at Dota, and I make shitty things look broken. But
that is
just
possible. That's the only explanation here. But since we know that, that's not possible and you're just garbage, that it's probably just a fluke.
true, true.
We can actually probably name more than 5 in case they don't overlap. So if Dazzle doesn't overlap for you, what is like? I mean, this is technically the 5th, but who else would you name for buffs?
I mean, I'm not even gonna say that hero. It's not worth it.
What, Pudge?
Yeah, yeah.
We can get our quick, like, guys, of course they need to buff Pudge. This hero's literally garbage, but, that's it. Okay, moving on from Pudge.
I would probably say, even though I don't really like the metas it produces, I would probably say Chen.
Okay.
Chen. I don't think Chen's in a great spot right now, personally. I think after they removed his was it
Recall?
recall? Yeah,
Yeah.
after they took away his recall, he just like he lost everything that made him like good about the map state, and like aggressing on the map, right? And just being this annoying presence that can teleport your strongest hero in at any point. But I don't know, now that he doesn't have that, it's just kind of like he's a walking heal machine that doesn't even heal that much.
I would say that Chin, I think, could use a buff, but he wouldn't be in my top 5 just because he's been popular like 2 patches
Yeah,
ago.
that's
So,
true.
like,
That's
he
true.
isn't
I
as
mean,
dead
I,
as these other heroes in terms of duration of death, but he
yeah.
is
Well,
pretty
well,
dead.
well. I just think like concept wise, like he got destroyed basically, and
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I definitely agree with that. I think that he needs to be reworked more than
yeah,
anything.
basically.
Give him
I
something to like
yeah, just
in replacement of what he used to have.
yeah, but I mean, just losing recall was just too big a hit for him to really survive, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Okay, so there's actually a ton of heroes that come to mind for me. I really do believe the tiebreaker is going to come down to how long they've been bad, and I'm going to say it. Every low MMR player in the chat is going to be like, "How the hell do you think this hero's been bad for 5 patches? He's OP, BSJ." And I would say, "No, he's not. He sucks." Do you know what I'm about to say, monkeys?
I do not know.
I want to see a Clinks buff, man. That hero's so
Okay.
bad. That hero's
Yeah,
been
that-
absolutely garbage for like 2 years. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw that hero actually get picked in a competitive match, dude. And the other hero, that's the exact same thing to me, that is in my chat being spammed, which I'm proud of you guys, is Sniper. They're both the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about snipers.
Dude, they're both the same thing.
Snipers in a rough spot.
Bring
dude.
back Core Sniper, dude. I don't know what it takes. That hero is one of my favorite, most fun heroes in the game, and they have murdered him for like the last
Calling
like.
sniper fun is a bit of a stretch,
Dude,
but,
fucking
I mean,
making people have quack things above their head from 1,200 range is super fun, dude. I don't know what you mean.
Also, your screen share froze again on Discord. Just letting you know.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it and then restart it. Freaking
Okay.
whiner. I mean, is it good now, man?
Yeah, it's good now. I got called a whiner. Now I feel bad.
I think it's because I'm dragging the window to see the heroes back and forth. I'm like trying to jump between
Yeah.
you and the heroes. But yeah, I just haven't seen them. I think I've seen maybe 3 snipers in the last year in my games, and I've seen like 2 clinks. You know, I've literally never seen these heroes because they're just not viable at the highest level. So
Yeah. And my honorable mention would be Visage, I think. I think it's been a while.
they gave him like a week, dude. He had a week of glory when they gave.
Yeah. When his eyes gave him, flying vision. I mean, all right, dude. Any hero, literally any hero, they give flying vision in Dota immediately becomes broken. Any hero. Batrider had it for like the longest out of them all. But like, dude, flying vision, you can't mess around with it. Like Night Stalker has it right now, and he's probably like the most balanced flying vision I've like seen ever because it's such a long cooldown and like it's hard to get to that like perma like level 25 Octarine core, right? Dark Ascension Night Stalker. But
I mean, that's like kind of Night Stalker's thing, right? But just like giving Visage, who does a bunch of other things, also flying vision. It's like, come on.
Anyways, I went on a mini flying vision rant, but I do think Visage has, other than the flying vision patch that he had for a week, he's just, I don't know, he hasn't really seen viable play for a long time.
So my honorable mentions, I'll just name like 4 or 5 and not go into too much depth. Haven't seen Silencer in a long time. Think Disruptors are super fun support that we haven't seen very much of.
Timber counter though, we'll say.
True, yeah. Let's not make him only viable because he beats Timber. I want to see Slark unpicked at the major. Unpicked.
True.
Give me a Slark buff. That's all I got to say about that one. And I also want to see a Faceless Void buff, and I want to see a Axe buff.
All right. So I was thinking Void, but look, Void just makes every meta so miserable because it's just like
I don't want him to be broken. Can we just make him not trash?
You just play around a spell that just, oh my god, Chrono's just so obnoxious, man. It's so obnoxious. It's worse than Black Hole.
I mean, Void is kind of the carry version of Enigma for sure. He's about as unenjoyable for everyone else to play against as Enigma is for a carry.
We had to deal with Void for so long, man. Like, leave him dead for a
That's
little
why
longer.
I said he's an honorable mention, because I think he needs a buff, but I don't want him to, don't go overboard, Valve.
Just leave Void. Bring Huskar back. That's fine. Just not Void, man.
Okay. You know what, monkeys? Okay, fine. Do you have any other honorable mentions for us?
No.
Venge, maybe?
Visage.
I got Venge.
Maybe Sky. I think.
Sky.
Fun.
Yeah, Sky, Tinker.
Like I think having Sky plus like the Blink Stunner combos is some high speed gameplay that can be fun to play and watch. But
okay, so we got our next subject, monkeys, because we've got all our heroes. It's a balanced patch, so we have to assume it's not just heroes. 5, or if you can't name 5, it's fine. Like you don't have 5, it's fine. 5 items that need to be nerfed.
Items. Hold. Let me open up Dota for this one. Actually.
Yeah, I need to. Every time I tab out of OBS for a second, your cam goes off. I
I
need to
know,
pull up
man.
my. I need to pull up my
We
items.
can't have that. We know everyone only watches us for my cam.
Indeed.
All right. So you said items that need to be nerfed.
Indeed. First one, man. What is it?
Hmm. Oh man, I should have given this some thought.
I feel like there's no way you can't at least name one.
I don't know. I'm thinking about them all. I'm thinking about.
I'll go
like,
first, monkeys. I'll take the obvious
You
one.
go first. You go first.
Necrobook. Just
Okay, sure.
rework this shit, bro. I don't care. It doesn't
Sure.
necessarily even need to be nerf. Just like they had this concept that it used to be broken because it farmed, and now it's broken because it just murders heroes. Can we just buff the actual minions and not make them deal 600 damage to me when I kill them? Can I just not take last will damage? Why does that shit still exist? I just think anything that makes the game unenjoyable, like quality of life wise, they've removed a lot of it. You know, like a lot of like not stacking orbs. Like it was really boring that you can't buy Deso on Ursa or Anti-Mage, you know, stuff like that. Like that's just not good for the game. And I just think it's bad for the game to have an item that summons something that runs at you that you don't want to kill. Like that just makes no sense to me. So Necrobook's my first one. What's your follow up here?
I would say Solar Crest probably. I think that.
Do you think it's too broken?
Yeah, I think it's really good right now.
Really? But that's like an item you think is like beyond a problem? Like you think it just has to get nerfed?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if I really think many items are beyond a problem right now. I mean, maybe like beyond a problem.
When I say beyond a problem is like, even though I see Solar Crest a decent amount, I've never thought this entire patch, I really wish people stopped having to buy Solar Crest every game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never felt that. It's like, I'm so annoyed that there's so many people that have to buy.
Well, but I mean, like, you know, I think we see Abyssal Blade on literally every single carry, like every single game, for the most part, right? At least on melee carries, but it's not like I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I think if
I see. So you don't think seeing an item a lot is a bad thing?
Yeah. Like I don't think nerfing Abyssal to the point where like it's unbuyable is a good concept for the game, right? Like I think Abyssal has its purpose and like its place, and I think it's like even though it's bought every game or like for the most part every game, I think it's in a spot that you know is okay for whatever meta or like wherever the meta goes for Dota, basically.
Okay. So I'm actually going to say maybe not the most obvious one, like maybe people wouldn't agree with. I want Orchid to be nerfed, dude. I think Orchid is like way too cheap.
I can get behind that actually. I agree. It has been really cheap for way too
long. I
long.
think the timing of like Orchid to Manta on a lot of carries or like Orchid to any other item on like survive like offlaners or carries is just like it's too hard to keep up with that pace. Like every single game I play, if that Storm or Void Spirit rushes an Orchid, I have to play like a damn pussy for like 5 minutes until
I think the fact that you can play against, you know, Furions or Void Spirits or Storms that are getting, you know, 9 to 11 minute Orchids is genuinely kind of a problem, because I think that is way too quick for the way a lot of heroes want to play the game right now. Basically.
Yeah, it's just too cheap. It's a fine item. Make it like kind of revert it. Like just make it 600 gold more and give the stats better. Like they don't necessarily need to nerf it. They just need to make it not a silence that costs like 3,400 gold. Like it just doesn't cost enough for how much it threatens people in the game.
And especially the build up is just insane on it too, because you get so much damage value out, and like and also
the Sage's Mask.
Like you get so much value out of like building up to the Orchid as well.
Okay, you're next.
I mean, all right.
If you don't have answers, I'll give my answers.
I'll go. Like maybe Witch's Blade. I feel like that item is pretty damn powerful on a lot of the in cores right now. You know, like the pucks and stuff. I feel like a inadvertent way to nerf puck right now would be nerfing Witch's Blade, for example, because I do think it's like a solid buy on that hero. You know, similarly for OD and other heroes like that.
I think Witch's Blade is honestly in a decent spot. Like, it's a little too strong, so I wouldn't mind if they, like, tone it down a little bit. But I like the item.
I just think, like, you know, I don't know. It gives too many good stats, basically. But, yes, I agree. It's a good item. But
I like it for the game, but I agree it's a bit too powerful.
yes.
That's what I would agree with there.
Yeah.
So my other item, there's like actually a decent amount of items. I'm gonna name 2 for kind of similar reasons. One is Yule's. I think Yule's needs to be nerfed. I think
I
it's
can
either
agree.
the cast range or the cooldown, just something like that. You can leave the item the exact same, just make the active a bit worse. It's just too good. It's like the best TP cancel in the game, and it's also a survivability mechanic, so it's just bought too much. I just see it on like every game. I see like 3 of them, and I don't know. It's just too many of them. And then on top of the same reason, I actually think Null Talisman needs to get nerfed. I think Null Talisman is by far the best 500, like of the 3 stat items. I think it's by far the best. I think like the mana regen on that is way better than the armor on Wraithband and the health regen on Bracer. I just think that component of it is way too good. Like you don't see double Bracer, you don't see double Wraithband, but you see double Null on like literally every mid lane.
Bracer is just garbage. Like I just RIP Bracer.
Yeah, I just think it's just too like. Okay, I'll say this: you either need to buff Bracer and Wraithband, or you need to nerf Null.
Yeah,
It's one of that.
You need all 3 to be
about the same. About the same. That's why I have such a problem with that. Is I think Yule's is by far the most value, like 2,700 gold item in the game, and I think Null is by far the most value 500 gold approximate item in the game. Okay, next one for you. Last one. And any honorable mentions?
Last one. Oh god, more nerfs. BSJ nerfing items is so hard. It's so hard.
Any of the farming items you have an issue with? Any like the Battle Furies, Maelstroms?
Nah, I don't think. I mean, like, I personally think Gleipnir is kind of insane, but we don't really see it ball that much. I like. Okay, let me rephrase. I think it has the potential to be insane. It's just like the meta is like kind of.
I think Gleipnir is gonna get buffed. I think that item's gonna get buffed. I don't think it needs a buff, but I actually think it's gonna get buffed. Yeah, it just doesn't get buffed very often. But I agree with you.
I mean, yeah, but
I think it's an item that they're gonna buff because it didn't get bought very often. And then they're gonna say exactly what you just said. Where it's like suddenly gonna be
seeing this item a lot, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one small buff from like bought every single game.
Especially when they add like Hoodwink to Captain's mode or something, like you know, or whenever Arc Warden becomes good, or you know, I don't know. This item will be bought a lot, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You don't seem to like nerfing items. I'm gonna be straight here. I'm just gonna name like 5 honorable mentions that I think all need a nerf. No in-depth explanation.
Items way more. Than
yeah. Swift Blink, Ghost Scepter, Abyssal Blade, E-Blade, and what was my other one? I had one other one in mind. BKB. I think those 5 items need to be nerfed. I think they're all
BKB at this point.
I think it just needs to cost more or something. I think it's actually just too important. Like I feel like BKB is so boring, but people have to buy it. And on top of that, the other 2 honorable mentions that I think have to get nerfed, because people are mentioning it, and I do agree, is Sange and Yasha. Kaya Sange, I'd say those are about the same, so it's just Sange.
Oh, I actually, dude, I forgot.
Just Sange.
Yes, Sange. I forgot.
Sange is actually top 5. That's actually top 5.
I hate the concept of status resistance so much. Like, it just, I don't know, man. I don't think it should be in the game. Maybe I'm in the minority by thinking that, or by having that opinion, but
there needs to be either an alternative that seems reasonable, or it needs to not exist. It's kind of like Null Talisman. Like, there's just like, it's like the best thing of what it does, and there's no comparison.
Yeah,
it's like,
I don't know, man. Dude, status resistance is just way
Sange is just stupid. So Sange itself is stupid, but also Eon Disc. We saw a bajillion Eon Discs in the major, and I think that item is just
Guess what that item has, BSJ?
Status resistance.
I'm seeing a trend here.
That's very true, Monkeys. Okay, so we've talked about a shit ton of items that we think might need a nerf. What about buffs? Your top, like each of us will give like 2 or 3 items that just need a buff.
Silver Edge.
I think that is the worst item in the game. That would be my
Yeah.
first answer. Silver Edge is the absolute most dog shit item in the game by a large margin, I think.
Yeah, definitely Silver Edge.
It has literally no purpose. It's
Yeah.
actually tied. I actually think it's tied. It's
Four. Is it Mage Slayer?
yeah, it is tied for the worst item in the game. Mage Slayer is. I will tell you this. I am actually going to upgrade Mage Slayer over Silver Edge. You want to know my monkeys?
Why?
Do you know how many times I had to be asked this patch? Why, like, when do you build Silver Edge? Do you know how many people asked me that this patch?
Yeah. No. Well, no.
Nobody asked me that question, monkeys. Do you know how many people asked me, when do I buy Mage Slayer, monkeys? Do you know how many times I had to say, this item is fucking dog shit, you never buy it? This patch. I had to answer that question? Like,
probably a lot from how frustrated you
I
sound.
had to answer that question like 1,000 times. I'm not exaggerating. I see it so often. Or like, I get done with a game. BSJ, did you consider Mage Slayer this game? And I'm like, no, I did not consider a Mage Slayer this game. When would you buy Mage Slayer on PL, BSJ? I would not buy Mage Slayer on PL. Yeah. I'm just, quality of life for me. Mage Slayer has been the absolute worst out of the pat. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it seriously purchased like a single time.
Other than Thompson, I have not seen Mage Slayer bought ever.
Yeah, I didn't even see the instance that Thompson did it. So, but
okay,
yeah.
you got another one?
Well, I named both of those, so you name.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Third.
Okay, fair enough. I will go with let's see, Satanic. I think that just needs to be reworked somehow. Like, once they remove the stat, they basically did what they did to Bat, right? Like, they just removed what made it good, and then just like didn't really give it anything. They gave it like 25 damage or something. It's like, dude, come on. I don't know. And then Helm Dom 2 or Wind Waker, out of like these expensive items, I don't necessarily know how you'd buff them, but I don't want to make them broken, but they're also just unpurchasable. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw those items this entire patch. So,
I mean, in 50+ minute games, Wind Waker is buyable against Puck. You can actually value that item as like a fourth item or something.
Against
I'm just
Puck
saying,
specifically.
Yeah, and Puck is very
true
popular in this meta, BSJ. So
yeah.
I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say Crimson Guard. I
think all of the aura items can be grouped into a group. I think like Vlad's, Greaves, Pipe, Crimson are all pretty underwhelming.
I mean, I'll say I think Greaves is still up there. I think that item is actually.
It's probably the best out of all of those.
Yes, it is definitely the best. Like I think, but I definitely think that item is still like a solid team item if you think you're gonna like group up a lot and pressure towers together or whatever. But I agree. All the R items are just like rough right now. Even drums, man.
Like, is that a function of the patch, you think, or is that a function of just like over time slight nerfs to those and slight buffs to the other, like the orchids and stuff?
Like a little bit of both, probably. Honestly, like I definitely do think the patch does matter a lot for like what items you're gonna want to buy. Like if and when Death Ball becomes popular again, right? You're gonna see these items no matter how strong they are. Like they could literally be at their current state, but just because these
it's more of a Death Ball-y
yeah. But because like Chen and Venno are first pick material or something, you'll just see these items purchased because that's just how the game plays out, right? Like or like if Zeus is really meta, like you're probably just gonna see pipes against Zeus. Like, well, okay, especially if BKB gets nerfed as you're saying it should be, because right now I mean the reason why you don't see like pipe bought very much is because just every hero that needs a BKB just buys a BKB right now. That's literally just how you play Dota, right? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of items that are kind of similar, right? Like, well, they accomplish a similar purpose. It's like pipe tanks you up against magic damage. BKB just makes you not take magic damage most of the time. So it's like If they offer similar things and one's just strictly better, you're not going to see the other. It's like right now, I'd always say in every patch for carries at least, Heart and Satanic offer like a pretty similar thing, like
Yeah.
in terms of what you're trying to get done. You're trying to like be able to tank through a lot of damage and still be able to fight. It's like
Yeah.
right now, Satanic's virtually unpurchasable, and Heart's like way too good in comparison to Satanic. So
Hmm.
a lot of the ones we're saying to get buffed are kind of like mirrored by a version of them that are just better.
Yeah.
Like we said,
Like,
BKB was better than Pipe. Satanic's worse than
it's
Heart.
kind of like how like MKB and Mjolnir, right? Like usually only one of those two items is good because both of those items are ways to pierce evasion, right?
Yeah.
Or Battle Fury and Maelstrom. You usually only see one of those items being like really solid and the other one kind of being like and right, and then like you see one of those items shine and the other one slowly gets buffed until it outshines the other as it gets nerfed, right? So you kind of see like this battle between these like farming items, these survivability items, these team fighting items, and you just kind of watch them get nerfed and buffed in accordance to their counterparts like all the time. Like
You know what's
every
crazy about this is after we've been talking for a while, I think this patch tomorrow has to be really long. Like, I
yeah.
actually think there's a lot of shit that needs to be changed in this game. I think the meta
Yeah.
is at a point that it's hit an incredible amount of staleness of builds and heroes. I just realized there's like just so many items. I'm like, I never see that. There's so many heroes. I just never see that. Like I mentioned Holy Locket. I'll mention like Mask of Madness. I'll mention even just like Dagon. You don't see these
Yeah.
items. So there's just a lot of stuff that is missing in the meta, and I think I honestly, if they at least do a good job of making it new, we haven't seen these items in a while. I think that's fine. Like, there's a lot of ag shards that could be reworked. There's a lot of aghanim scepters that could be reworked. There's actually like so much they could do here, and all I want is a different map, monkeys.
Well, yeah,
All I
I
want.
mean, I agree with you, but in addition to that, it's kind of like what we talked about, right? It is just the meta. The meta has been so figured out that it's just it's the reason you don't see a lot of these items is because there's really not too much to theory craft or anything anymore for a lot of people. It's just like you go where you're supposed to on the map, you position properly, you itemize correctly, and right, it's just very systematic at this point. I feel for a lot of the at least high MMR player base, I would say.
Okay, so this is gonna be a weird question. It's a little more
Okay.
abstract per se. I just realized we've actually been talking for almost an hour, so I guess we'll like kind of wrap it up. We've just been talking
All
a long
right.
time, but name it. Like, what comes to mind if I say to you, what was the top three, maybe just one worst thing about this patch?
Worst thing about this patch. Um. Hmm. Man, you're asking some like I haven't really thought about like what I dislike about this patch in a long time, honestly. I would probably say I feel like I kind of dislike how in this patch your carry like your carry basically always has to be thinking about how he's going to either match or outfarm the enemy carry, and
Very farm heavy patch, yeah.
yeah, and it forces the game state to kind of evolve into like this 4 protect 1, and then each carry kind of joins a team with like literally their one spell in 200 seconds or something, and then it just goes back to like how do we create the most farm
I agree.
efficient map for our carry. And I
I've
think
not particularly enjoyed playing carry this patch. It's made me expand as a player a lot because, like, in terms of like, I don't like playing this super
mhm.
passive farm dodge
Yeah,
game.
I personally I like the patches where all 5 heroes kind of get involved more quickly and like
Or at
all
least you
5
have some
heroes.
variance there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not forced into this like very almost strict way to play the game, which I feel like we're kind of
Yeah.
in this like bubble right now. I feel almost. And I think that was probably like one of the least enjoyable things for me.
My least enjoyable thing is how early game regen works.
Okay.
Salves, bottle,
Yeah, dude,
4-minute runes.
I will vouch salves so hard. It is my least favorite thing as an offlaner to literally be like outlaning them so hard, like outskilling them, out CSing them, and then their 5 just buys 4 salves for the carry. And I'm just like, well, great. All this right clicking I've done and efficient trading is all for nothing because their 5 just decided to have 500 net worth at 8 minutes in the game because he bought 6 salves. And it's like, congrats, man. You did it. You bought the green salve.
I
Good
just think
job.
I just think that it's such a boring way to play, and I even in my coaching sessions where I'm like, guys, you 5 position, you just need to buy that carry like 3 salves if you want to be a good 5. It's like
Yeah.
I'm telling them that because it's like the strategy, but it's not good for the game. Nobody enjoys that. I mean, the carries like kind of enjoy it, but I also don't want to have to be salved.
Yeah,
I think part of the
what
reason
are you talking
why
about? I love going from no HP to full
I'm
HP
saying as a
over and
carry,
over
I don't want to
BSJ.
rely on my support buying me salves. I actually lose lanes this patch because I don't get salved. That
Yeah,
sounds fucking stupid. I don't want that. I don't want to have to
yeah.
rely on my 5 being a slave that buys me salves. And I also just think like bottle filling and 4-minute runes, there's just something wrong with it. I don't know. Like nothing makes
Yeah,
me feel worse than playing against an offlaner who I see has a bottle and I say I cannot trade with this guy because he bought a bottle.
I
I
I
actually
I don't.
can't play the lane against him anymore because he will get it filled after we all in each other,
Yeah.
and one of our supports dies, and then I lose the lane. So I hate that
I mean,
mechanic.
I think 4-minute and 6-minute rune both kind of dictate the direction of the first 15 minutes of the game like a lot right now basically because if the mid laner gets either or both of the 4 and 6-minute runes, like it just opens up so many possibilities for getting a quick kill on the side lane and just completely snowballing like an even lane in your favor or whatever, and it just like it really does snowball the game so much, right? Like i think I think mids being able or just rotating with their level 6 alone is enough of a power spike that they're still able to do stuff in the side lanes without that extra umph of the a haste or a double damage or a arcane or whatever.
I've actually got a question for you. 'Cause, we have to shut this down somewhat soon. I actually have to get ready to go tomorrow. But how do you feel about catapults?
Um, I think I don't think 5-minute sieges are that bad right now. I actually think 5-minute sieges, like specifically, are in a pretty decent spot because I think it's like the XP state of the game is like usually teams aren't hitting like a strong enough spot that they can actually, force a 5-minute siege to, really be like super punishable. Sometimes it's doable with like a Furion or a Beastmaster or a Leshrac or something that have good early games. But like, I don't think 5-minute sieges are that bad. But I think right now, if you don't play around a 10-minute or 15-minute catapult effectively, then you just lose the game basically. And I think that's how important they are.
I would just argue that catapults are too important, and they've been the same for like 3 or 4 years. That's kind of my argument.
Yeah,
I just think it's kind of snore. Like I don't know how
yeah.
else to say it. It's just the same shit, and it's. I know they're important. I think they're an important part of the game. I'm not saying to like remove them. I just think some sort of like change to them to make them not
I
what
mean
they
I mean,
are.
how
Yeah.
like, again, man, we just want anything fresh. That really is
That's
all it
exactly
comes
what I'm
down to.
saying. It's like,
Like,
dude,
like,
catapults are
dude,
like the
I
number
don't
one
care.
concern right now.
They could remove catapults and add, like, some random, like, literally, like, a creep that casts a random hero ability or something. Like, I don't know, like, just something that just, like, just changes
What if you just
changes
get
what
black holed by a
happens.
range creep, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, obviously, I'm just spitballing ideas, but I'm just saying, like, we just need something to happen, right? Like,
Cast a
we
random spell in the game. Sometimes you'll get quills, sometimes you
so
get hold.
maybe you get a level 4 Diabolic Edict, maybe you get, like, a level 1 convert Eidolons, and it converts itself. I don't know, man, like
Honestly, that sounds like a pretty fun custom mode, but I agree. The game, like a lot of people are saying, the overall sentiment I will go with is that because of the way the map's been, and because of the rules of the game not getting touched too much, it's just stale. We've seen a lot
Dude,
of
dude, literally take Roshan, put it in the top left corner of the map. Just see what it
I'm
does.
gonna
Just like
quote. I'm gonna quote Patrick here, and we're just gonna say, take Roshan and
and just
put it somewhere else. Just
exactly.
push it somewhere else, dude.
Just see what happens. Like,
I
what's the worst that could happen, right? Like,
yeah.
pros complain that the map looks ugly now or something. Like, who cares? Like, literally just copy paste Roche bit to just a different area of the map and just see what it does. Just see
Yeah.
how it changes the game state.
Yeah,
That's what we
I
did like 4 times over. Why not, right? Like,
yeah, I think I think that overall all the top players think something similar, and I just want something new to talk about. I like, when I coach my sessions and stuff, even then I'm like trying to teach people. I feel like I've been trying to teach the same thing for like the last 2 years. It's just the same fundamentals. There's nothing new for me to learn. So I'm not like, I'm excited about the things I've learned because I'm always learning. But when I'm talking about like the general strategy of the game, there's nothing that I've had to learn in the last like 2 years. It's just like,
mhm.
I mean, I'm saying nothing I've had to learn recently that was
That's
different
fine.
than 2 years ago. So
I
like
understand.
so yeah, it's just like that's the kind of part that we're really emphasizing here. But I am excited about the patch. New things never hurt.
Absolutely.
We got to make sure that people don't miss what we're going to offer. So to end the podcast here, what's your plans coming up, monkeys? What are you doing next week, 2 month? What do you got coming for? Are you going to be streaming for us?
Yep,
What's the deal?
literally when patch drops, I'm probably just gonna start streaming double digit numbers and you know, 12-hour streams a day or something. Who knows? Depends on what my scrim schedule and official set because we have the whatchamacallit happening second season of DPC coming up, so I'm gonna be busy with that too. But
You're going to be living, breathing, smoking Dota, right?
yep, I mean it's literally I don't know, man. New patch means the grind has to come out, right? Got to figure it out before everyone else.
Yeah, I will
That's just
hopefully be an
how Dota
EU
goes.
unless I get
Hopefully,
I get to
hopefully
do
you
that.
don't. Hopefully you don't do the round trip
Guys,
again.
that's not me being toxic towards NA. That's just me not wanting to fly for 16 hours and ending up in the exact same spot. That's why.
I'm
So,
personally offended that you don't want to do a round trip back to NA.
yeah, I
I
would
like.
love to
I
lap
can't
around.
believe you, BSJ.
Yeah, I feel I'm actually an asshole, but yeah, I will be casting for the European DPC, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll try to be streaming as well, but we're just wanting you guys to know that we'll be around. Be around. You can find monkeys in the DPC on 2 base. You guys are in the upper division now, which is dope.
We are indeed.
And then you'll also be streaming, and then I'll be
Gonna
streaming and
slay
casting.
EG, BSJ.
Hey
For
man,
old
I'm
time's
ready.
sake. For old time's sake.
First, you
Remember
have
when?
to get
Remember
Jenkins on your team, and then you have to replace him, and then you can beat EG.
Literally kick Jenkins next day 2-1 EG. Let's go,
Okay,
baby.
okay, monkeys. I don't want to spoil because we just have to not tell him. Okay, we really have to invite Jenkins on the podcast. Okay, but you're not going to show up for the first 20 minutes. And I'm going to say, I'm really done talking to you, Jenkins. I'm going to have to kick you and replace you with monkeys. We're going to do it. It's going to be like maybe 2 or 3 months from now where all the people watching has forgotten.
I mean, they're just gonna clip this and share it with
No.
Jenkins.
He will have forgotten by that point.
Oh,
He will have forgotten.
okay.
Jenkins is a simple man. But that is what we will have to do something. It's too good. Just so people who don't understand, Jenkins has been kicked for monkeys like 3 or 4 times on different teams, so it's just a running meme at
And
this point.
apparently, it's been a running meme for a while, and I wasn't even aware of it until like literally 6 months ago or something.
Yeah. Guys, don't send this to Jenkins, please. But okay, with that being said, monkeys, I always love talking to you. I'm not going to see you in my pubs unless I do the lap around. So
Yep.
we'll make sure we do the podcast to
Won't
keep
happen,
up.
BSJ.
Yeah.
You'll have a nice flight to EU, and you'll do some good old casting.
Thank you. But if not, we got to make sure we do the podcast so that
True.
I can look at your beautiful beard and look at
Maybe
mine and say,
maybe it'll be shaved by next time.
this is
you
like
never
a
know.
month of hair.
Dude,
So
I'm so bad at growing facial hair.
yeah, it's not my strong suit either. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, guys. But
True.
with that said, monkeys, thanks for joining me again, buddy, and we'll see you
Yep,
guys later.
absolutely. Thanks for having me. Have a good
Peace.
one, everyone.